I love Jon. Me and Jon used to be really close friends. Before he became world champion, before he fought Shogun, I trained him many times. He used to live in Montreal. We spent a lot of time training together. However, when he fought Shogun, I was supposed to be in his corner. George St. Pierre also had a title fight coming up, and George asked me, don't go, because I need you here. I don't have anybody to replace you. So I stayed. And that kind of put a rift between us a little bit. Okay, I had to prioritize George over Jon. And I knew, I was so confident he was going to win. I was so confident Jon Jones was going to crush Shogun. So confident. I even talked to him. I said, you don't need it. There's nobody in the world that's going to change the result of this fight. I don't care who's in whose corner. Lo and behold, he wins. Guys, don't forget, he's the youngest man to ever become world champion in UFC. Don't forget what I told you about how talented he is. Now, fast forward to last year, or the year, what year was it? I can't remember. George St. Pierre is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Guys, I'm staying on topic here. Okay, I'm talking about the mind of Jon Jones, how it affects his career. Because I'm telling you, he's the most talented guy. I don't think he's the best pound for pound at all. I'm gonna explain why. But he's the most talented guy. Talent. If you have pure talent, this guy has the most of it. Now, did he work around the clock? Did he use it? Did he exploit it? No. He didn't do it to his full potential. He could be better than he is. He could be a lot better than he is. I'm going to touch on that a little bit. George is being inducted to Hall of Fame. Who's there? Jon Jones. Jon Jones, man, an old friend. We're hugging. We're talking. There was a little friction between us, more between him and George. Just a little bit of friction. Nothing serious. Nothing serious. You know, there was a little friction. We see each other. We hug. Everything's cool. Bury the hatchet. We're very, very friendly. Everything is cool. Life is good. Today's a good day. George is being inducted to the Hall of Fame. Jon is happy for him. We're happy for him. I'm happy for him. Everything is cool. The next morning I wake up and George shows me he shows me Jon Jones arrested. He got arrested that night. This happened, that happened. I don't want to even mention it, you know. It's violence. It had to do with violence, okay? Family violence. It's called domestic violence, whatever it may be. We just talked to him 12 hours ago. He just said he's making, 12 hours ago we talked about how we're going to get on a good page and everything is going to, just 12 hours ago. Just 12 hours ago. And then I'm seeing video of what happened that night. Like, what happened, man? Jon Jones, here's what scares me about Jon Jones' performance. Is he training seriously? I think so. What did he do in these 3 years? Was he partying all night long? Was he getting out of control? Was he destroying his body? These are all things we don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And it could make a massive difference in the fight. Massive. Because I'll tell you something. Cyril Gane almost touched gold and he's hungry. I didn't even talk to the guy. I don't work with him. I could tell you that once you touch gold, you almost touch gold. You go back and you're obsessed with getting that belt. You're obsessed with perfecting your game. You're going to get it the second time around. This is his second chance. It was razor close against Ngannou. I actually watched it the other day prepping for this breakdown. I could tell you that I really feel comfortable with saying Ngannou won that fight, but still it was competitive. It was very competitive. Even though Ngannou won, it was not controversial in my opinion. I picked Ngannou and Ngannou won. I watched it again yesterday. I'm telling you, Ngannou won that fight. Close fight, but still Ngannou won. If Cyril Gane, the one that fought Ngannou, shows up, he's going to lose to Jon Jones. That's not the Ngannou. That's not the Gane we're going to see. Gane is working. Gane is a hungry animal right now. He wants to touch gold. For Jon, it's just another day. He's had 14 title fights. Another belt doesn't do anything for him. A heavyweight title belt's going to make him happy, but believe me, in his mind, he's already the greatest. It's not going to change that much. How hungry is Jon? That's what scares me. How hungry is he? How hungry is he? How motivated is he? That's the one key. If this guy was motivated, if this guy worked around the clock, I think he would be the greatest of all time without question. Now, for me, if you're asking me, if you touch anything with picograms, well, I know it's a controversial topic. I know they changed the rules. 0. In my book, 0 is the amount you should have. 0. Not pico this or pico that. 0. And 2 strikes, to me, you're eliminated. How come when cyclists win the Tour de France and then they get caught for any drug, they get stripped? They get banned for life. Why don't they do this in MMA? MMA, we're not pedaling next to each other. We're hitting each other in the head. We're affecting each other's health here, long-term health. I think if you get caught for any substance, you should be banned for life. Banned for life. Stripped of everything you have, all your sponsors, everything. That's how serious it should be, because guys will never stop. Competitors will never stop cheating. So long. And now look, they have to flex the rules because so many guys get caught. Oh, picograms, we're going to let that slide now. We're going to let that slide. Yeah, you know, because the science this, the science that. The science is changing now. I think there's a lot to do with political pressure. Now, I'm not a biologist, guys. I'm not a chemist. I'm not a master of this. But I think it has a lot to do with social pressure and logistics and ticket sales. Call me crazy, but that's how I see it. Coach, will Jon Jones be too slow now that he went up in weight class? He did a lot of heavy squatting and deadlifting, trained like a tow truck, as you say. That's from Cremidis. Oh, man. You're so right about this. Guys, when he fought OSP, it was one of his worst performances. He did a lot of deadlifting, squatting. Guys, I hope this is not true. I know he put on size, but please tell me his trainers didn't make this error. Because if they did, if Jon looks slow and bulky, I'm going to freak out. Okay? Because I thought we learned this lesson already, and he was critiqued. He was critiqued for the OSP fight heavily. I understand he put on more weight, and I'm not worried about that at all, as long as he did it correctly. As long as he used low impact plyometrics, and he didn't use only slow movements. Coach, Cyril will beat Jon Jones. Please look at Jon Jones' last couple of fights. He's slowing down. That's Hani Mali. I agree with you, but I think Jon was just trying to be stubborn and beat them at their own game. Oh, they're strikers. I'm going to beat them in striking. I think that's really what it was. He played with fire. If you guys don't know Jon, he loves to play with fire. Look at his life outside the cage. This isn't a man who loves to play with fire. He almost has no regard for what people think. He's in his own bubble. In his mind, it's his own personal channel. Everybody's here to see if... No, he doesn't care about that. He's just in his mind. He wants to prove to himself that he can do something. That's what gets Jon out of bed, man. Believe me, Jon, he needs some kind of freaky challenge for him to get up out of bed. Because in his mind, he's the best athlete, and it's not worth it for me to go and compete with this guy. He'll never get even close to beating me. But if he has this challenge, oh, what if I go and I beat him at his own game? Oh, that's a challenge. Because I'm telling you guys, I really believe if Jon puts his mind to it, he can absolutely take Cyril down. I don't think he can hold him down for a prolonged period of time, but he can put on the pain. He has enough to put on the pain and start breaking him down so that in later rounds, he can keep softening up Gane and put him on his back and keep him on his back. Because Gane is no fool on the ground either. And he's bigger. He's going to be able to scramble up to his feet. But those elbows, those pins, they're going to wear down on Gane.